Hello and welcome to a new lesson on creating a VPN user profile. Recall that in our previous lesson we completed the pre-tunnel initial setup, creating a server and an organization, and attaching the organization to the server. In this lesson, we will start by creating our first user, and you can create multiple users using the same method. To create a user, click Users. Any user you create will be shown here. You can create a single user or multiple users at once. I will click Add User to create our first VPN user. Let's type Adam as the username. We have one organization which we created in our previous lesson, so I will leave that as it is. The email is optional, but I will provide Adam's email here. For the PIN, think of it as a mobile PIN or a debit card PIN, some digits that act as a password for authentication. I will leave it blank since I already have two-factor authentication set. I don't want to complicate things for the user. Also, the user can set the PIN later when downloading his profile if desired. Now click Add to add the user Adam. Once you create a user, they will be shown here with some information like never, indicating that this user has never connected to the VPN. You can also see if the user is currently online or offline. Now, before downloading the user profile for testing, and remember, you should not download any user profile unless it's your own. But since we are learning and testing together, I will download Adam's profile. But first, let's go to the pre-tunnel homepage and scroll down to the pre-tunnel client. Whenever you create a VPN user profile and send the user his profile URL, you should have a guide or documentation to help him download the profile and use the pre-tunnel client to connect to the VPN. Since pre-tunnel is built on top of OpenVPN, your VPN users can also use the OpenVPN client to connect. In the pre-tunnel client section, you can find instructions on installing pre-tunnel client on different operating systems. As you can see, the pre-tunnel client can be installed on Windows, Mac OS, and various Linux flavors. I have already downloaded and installed the client for Windows. Now let's go back to the dashboard. We have created a VPN user named Adam. You can download the profile from here or get a temporary profile link. Any link from here will expire after 24 hours. So when you send any of these URLs to the user, you need to clarify that they should connect within 24 hours. If the URL expires, you can get a new valid URL for another 24 hours. Let's copy this URL and open it in a new tab. Let's assume that I am Adam and you sent me the VPN profile URL. The first thing I will do is read this QR code using my authenticator. Now I have scanned this QR code, but I advise you not to scan it, as this server will be terminated once I finish recording the lessons. As Adam, I should download the pre-tunnel client or know that I can use the OpenVPN client according to the guide you sent me. As user Adam, I can also set a PIN for my profile, which I won't do. I will click Show More and then download my profile. As user Adam, I have installed the client, downloaded the VPN profile. Now let's click Import to import my downloaded profile. Now I will click Browse to select my profile from my local machine. Now I have selected my profile from my local machine. Let's click Import. Now I can see my profile, the user Adam, the status is disconnected, the server vpn.linuxdirection.com, and the organization is first.org. To connect, let's click connect. Now I will type the authenticator passcode from my Google Authenticator. Let's click connect. As you can see, the status is now online and I have a new public IP, which is the VPN public IP. I also assigned private IP from 192.168.226 range, and my IP end with 2. Now let's verify that we are browsing the internet from the VPN IP. So let's open our browser and visit nordvpn.com/whatismyip. As you can see, the IP shown here is the VPN's public IP. So let me bring the pre-tunnel client, and you can see that the IP shown from whatismyip web page is the same IP as the VPN server public IP. With that, we have learned together how to create a VPN user and verified that the user is browsing the internet via the VPN IP. That's it for this lesson. Thank you for watching and see you in the next lesson.